Hello. Earlier this week I took my camera into work and I shot various bits and pieces of video around the Petra3 building. So now that I've edited it together, you can have a bit of a look around the site where I'm working. First of all, I'll just show you a quick picture showing the layout of the DESY site. I'm working on detectors for Petra3, which you can see first of all the beam hole in the bottom left hand corner where the X-ray beams are actually generated, and then the yellow ring is the synchrotron, which produces a beam of positrons which is actually used to generate the X-rays. If you look around, you can also see the exfil site at the right hand side, which is where a new X-ray source is being built, and a lot of my colleagues are working on detectors for that. So first of all, we're in the connecting tunnel that connects our office building to Petra3. If we look around to the side, you can see that Petra3 is kind of a curved shaped building. Basically, the synchrotron ring that produces the X-ray beams at Petra3 runs round the edge of the DESY site. Most of it's underground, it's a little over 2 kilometres in total, but in this section, an eighth of the ring, it's above ground. It passes through this experimental hall and it's used to produce the X-ray beams. So now I'm actually inside the Petra Hall, standing directly on top of this ring, which has a beam of positrons continually circling through it. You can see the curvature of the ring just about in this video, and likewise if you turn around you can see the end of the hall. Now, when the positrons pass through a series of bending magnets, they emit X-rays, which travel along various beam lines, coming radially off from the ring. So if I just walk along the bridge a little further and turn back, okay, now you can see radiating outwards one of the beam lines here. You can see in the bottom left one of the hutches that's used for experiments, and basically it continues along here with a preparation room, an experimental hutch, a control hutch and so on, which I can show you in a wee minute. And here we can see a view of the Petra Hall from the opposite end of the building now. Next we're down at floor level to look at one of the beam lines. At the far end we actually have the experimental hutch where the sample being tested and the detector would sit, but unfortunately we can't really go in there. You can see looking around that since there's a lot of beam lines, 14 in total, and a limited amount of space, everything is pretty cramped down at floor level. So this particular beam line is High Energy Materials Science 1. That's another hutch that can be used for experiments. And then as we go along here, we can get to the optics hutch, which basically contains various components like X-ray mirrors, which are used to actually focus the X-ray beam for experiments. Next we have an example of part of Petra that's actually still being built at the moment, which is the optics hutch for one of the experiments. Basically, the X-ray beam for one of the experiments will pass through these pipes here, which are filled with vacuum, and you can see that there's various gadgets onto it, which will monitor the quality of the X-ray beam. And then we're back up to the top end of the hall where the bridge is. Since Petra3 is still being commissioned, you can see at this end of the hall there's a lot more free space where some beam lines are going to be built, and you can see there's people in the process of bringing in new equipment, assembling lab space, and so on.